Welcome to Twisted Tales.
Twisted Tales, blood and bones and unknown trails. Twisted Tales, fruit got teeth that drags their nail. Urban riding, back road sins, dead men talking through the wind. Cursed objects kill alone. Once you hear it, you want more. No fairy dust, no happy end, just how the nightmare really went. Turn it up, don't ask why. This ain't stories, this is true to life.
Good evening, everybody. This is Jeremy, and welcome to another amazing episode of Twisted Tales as part of the All Access Network. And I want to bring to you two of the most amazing people that I know. They have their hands in many, many things, the paranormal, the haunted objects, the lecturers, and the authors of several books. I bring to you two of my very good friends, Danny and Lauren Perez, the RadiKals.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time and coming on the show. I know you guys are very, very busy all the time. So it's really cool to have you guys on tonight. So
always got time for Jeremy.
Always got time.
Thank you. So, just in case anybody that's watching is living under a rock, let's start with Lauren. How did you get involved in the paranormal to begin with?
Well, I actually really started watching Ghostbusters and Scooby-Doo and all those things. And then I got into the paranormal shows and I said, I could do this. And my daughter and I started our group called MassCon Paranormal. And we've been doing that since 2015. And now it's the RadiKals.
That's awesome. It really is. And Dan, I know that you definitely have a longer storied past in the paranormal. How did you first get involved, my man?
Well, for me, when I was a kid, I saw this horror movie called The Black Cat. It was an Italian film, and there's an old gentleman in it, and he had an old reel-to-reel. He'd go out to cemeteries and record things, and he would actually have communications with the dead with this reel-to-reel recorder. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. I want to try that. So I got my little Radio Shack recorder, and I went out with the microphone, and I started hearing things that weren't there. And I was like, this is really cool. Got a little more involved in it. And that was back in the 80s, I believe. Wow. And then I ended up in the 90s meeting up with Ed and Lorraine Warren. And, it just snowballed and realizing, hey, we can help people. We can, try to figure this out together. And people need somewhere to turn. And what do you know? Still doing it.
It really is amazing that you guys have so much stuff going on, Yeah, Raven, I agree. The RadiKals, they're awesome. So speaking of which, the birthplace of the RadiKals. So you had your history, Lauren, and I know that you've been working on your abilities and such ever since, now the last 14 years. Oh my God, the years go by so fast. Wow. And Dan's been in the paranormal for a long, long time. So when did you guys get together and start realizing that this was something you guys wanted to do together?
Go for it, Lauren.
Well, we actually met online on Plenty of Fish, and on my what do you call it, profile. I said, if you're brave enough, you can go on a first date doing a paranormal investigation with me.
But here's the thing is we were both on Plenty of Fish. We didn't know each other. We didn't, and I was on my last gasp. I was just like, I'm giving up on this. This is garbage. She was, I didn't know,
exactly
myself, she was doing the same thing. And I come across this profile and it said exactly that with the paranormal investigation. And I was like, I do that for fun. I do that, two letters, H-I, hi. Yeah. And then
that was it.
Boom. That's awesome. So where was your investigation that you guys went on together then?
Actually, we didn't plan. We didn't actually. The first date we went to Old Sturbridge Village, which
Yeah.
you know, which has a lot of history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we love the history part of the paranormal.
Yep.
And so I mean, which, yeah,
Yeah. I think it was our second date we did Terracon.
no, yeah, but the first time that we was
It was in Salem.
no,
Where?
Fitzwilliams.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Fitzwilliams
Yes.
Inn.
The Fitzwilliam Inn in Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire.
Yes, that was our first.
I've heard of it. I've never been there. It actually sounds like it seems like a really cool place.
It was
It is.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, crazy history.
Oh yeah.
And then I know a few years later, you guys ended up getting married right around the beginning of that awful the pandemic that we dealt with. I mean,
The very beginning of COVID.
Thank you, COVID.
Thank you, COVID.
I
Well, I
had
guess-
stated I would never get married again. I've been married a couple of times, you know, had some bad luck.
Heated arguments that we would never get married.
But we both worked in the medical field. We still do work in the medical field. And at this point in time when it was happening, COVID was it hadn't hit America yet. But it was like on TV, they were showing things in Italy, scenes of people dying on the streets of COVID, this mysterious disease that's coming to America soon. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, we both work in healthcare. We're bound to get it. And so if I pass away and I'm single, my pension goes back from the union, goes back to the union. It goes back to the. So I'm like, marry me? That way she gets the pension.
And the thing is that that's exactly how he said it to me.
Well, I said, you want to do something fun this weekend?
He goes, let's do something wild and crazy this weekend. I said, okay, everything's shut down. What do you want to do? He goes, let's get married. I actually laughed at him because we have had heated conversations saying, never doing it again. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, isn't it true that you guys actually got married and you used your hearse as like? I remember seeing the pictures of the just married on the back of the hearse. What was the expression on the face of the person who did your service when you actually did it with the hearse?
He loved it.
Yeah, the JP,
really?
he was an elderly
Yeah.
guy. He was in his mid to late 70s, I think,
Yeah,
somewhere around
there.
there. And because he's like, where do you want to do this? We're like, at your house,
backyard.
at your house, because like at the time, like groups were like I think 4 people max or something like that.
4 or 5 people.
You couldn't have more than 4 people gathering because it was just starting.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
those
we-
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we wrote "Till Death Do Us Part" on the back of the hearse window,
Mhm.
and we drove, which is one town over for us. We drove
Yep.
over there, and we got married. But what happened after the marriage? After Lauren?
So because it was a hearse and his neighbors saw it, they thought he died.
Oh,
So when he was out in his yard about a month or 2 months later, or whatever it was, his neighbor actually slammed her brakes on and went up to him and says, "I thought you were dead. There was
Oh
a
my
hearse
God.
in your driveway." And he goes, "Oh no, that was just the wedding."
That was just a wedding.
did you have a casket in the back just for effect? I hope.
No, we didn't.
But
no.
we did have a plague mask and a gas mask.
Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, were you able to travel at all for your honeymoon during the COVID, or did you just
No.
Mm,
No, we put it off until like what, a year and a half ago.
It's been
2
2
years?
years.
We waited till like 2 years ago, and we went to California, and we call it Spooky Moon.
Spooky moon.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to various locations like
Mhm. Danny told me to write down bucket list places that I wanted to
Yeah.
go.
so Queen Mary, the Winchester House,
Alcatraz.
We did it all in one shot.
Yeah.
Oh man, Alcatraz is on my bucket list someday. Someone just to walk the Howard Halls. I mean,
It's
it
heavy.
looks amazing.
It's heavy.
It's insane. I
Is it?
stepped 1 foot off that ship onto the island, and I had someone behind me saying, "I know you can see me. I know you can hear me. You need to talk to me."
Oh wow.
And I'm like, I'm not going to turn around and say, "No, shut up," because there's nothing back there. I'm going to look like a nutball.
And there's a group of people with us, you know, so
Yeah.
it's like, all right.
But Danny was a little, and then I started hitting on stuff, and
Oh my
he's just
God.
like, "Oh."
She started picking up on stuff like with the warden and things like that, and
Mhm.
the hostage situation, and we started digging into the history. We're like, oh, this actually happened. Because we went in like cold, not knowing stuff and everything.
Yeah.
The
Right.
basics, but and it was just like, holy cow, Lauren, you're crazy. You're picking up all this stuff. You're freaking me out.
Well, I know that Danny. I know that you are definitely the ultimate. You've been a skeptic since like day one. I mean, I know that you've heard things and you've seen things that you can't quite explain, but you hold hard to that skeptic core. Versus, I know that Lauren, you and I both are, in the clairvoyant and hypersensitive situations where we see it all the time and we embrace that fact. So
see, I always say Lauren's clairvoyant and I'm clairannoying.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Because you guys do so many like investigations, whether they're helping out with your friend Thomas and the Dining with the Dead, or whether you're doing, your home, when you go into like private homes, it's good to have the dynamic of both, like you doing the technical and being more grounded, and then you being able to use your natural abilities. Do you find that it works? It's a strategy that actually works. Do you think that it's actually?
I think so.
I definitely think so.
As Danny always says, we're like yin and yang.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps. He keeps me grounded, where I just kind of go whip out. So
yeah, because there's sometimes where like it doesn't fit my bill of the skeptic thing, and it's like, well, how'd you hit on that? And she's like, there's no way to prove that, but it worked. And then there's other times where I'll be like, well, it could have been this, and she's like, oh yeah, you're right. You know what? Scientifically, that could be it. Yeah. So we kind of it balances out, but there's still a huge distance between the two where it's like unexplained. Wow.
I agree with you with the paranormal. So much that is unexplained. I mean, we've only touched the iceberg of the entire thing, and every time that we think we have it figured out, they throw us a curveball. And I know a while ago that you had told me that when you go to an investigation, like a private residence, you give them this crazy thing to fill out, don't you? It's like just to help like rule out everything. Could you explain a little bit about what you got going on there?
Yeah, we've got a 14-page questionnaire. I mean, it's time consuming, but if you just the fact that it's 14 pages weeds out a lot of people, because they're like, if they have a problem, they're going to take the time and go through it, but there's things on there like medical health. There's things, the history of the place, the property, because believe it or not, I mean, sometimes it's not a paranormal possibility. It's sometimes it's medical. We had one person where this demon was telling him to do things and all this stuff and everything, and it turned out at the very end he was schizophrenic, and now he's got help and living a great life. He's married, bought a new place, and realized that hey, it wasn't a ghost, it wasn't a demon. I'm not broken, but I have this condition. So it's like we helped him, but in a different way.
Right.
Oh, it definitely makes sense. I mean, like you said, when you told me about the amount of questions that you have people fill out, so you can try to rule out this and that and the other thing, and go ahead. Sorry.
Also, like religion, we don't want to know all about your beliefs, your non-beliefs, things like that. Because we had one woman, and she was all excited. She's like, "Oh my God! So now you're going to bring in a priest because that's what they do on TV." No, according to your questionnaire, you're Jewish. We're going to bring in a rabbi. Why would we bring in a Catholic priest?
Right.
Because you saw The Exorcist,
Yeah, she saw it on TV, but it's like, no, your belief system is the most important and most powerful thing.
Right. So
she was like, what? And it worked out.
That's amazing. It really, really is. So I wonder, because I know that you guys collect what you call problematic objects, I think, and I know some people call them haunted, some people call them enchanted. Could you talk about your Museum of Wonder? As I've seen it quoted, tell people about the Museum of Wonders.
Go ahead, Dan.
Well, that's something I've been doing for over 20 something years now. It's just kind of accumulated and
taking over the house,
the attic, the 3-car garage, and wherever else we can fit them.
The porch.
It's just they're everywhere. people need a place to keep these things. We don't call them haunted or cursed because we can't prove they are. We call them problematic because we can prove that wherever they go, these things cause problems.
Mhm.
So we house them and we hold them so that they're not in the public causing these problems, because something as simple as burying an item, well, it's there, it's not causing you problems, but what about in 10 years when they develop that area?
Mhm.
When they dig it up to build a house or build over the spot, you know? So it's like,
I'm gonna say one word: Jumanji.
Oh my God. It's been a long time since I've watched that movie, but you do have a point. You know, if you start digging up your lawn and you find a Jumanji game, I think you might want to be in trouble at this point.
Yeah.
so it's like a place where these things can be collected and housed and not, you know, I mean, yeah, and studied, because they're not, they don't just sit here. We'll take them out and we'll do tests on them, various things. And I heard murmurs of mummified things in the Crying Boy print. Yeah, we got a couple of those.
Yeah, we got all kinds of mummified things.
Nice.
But and at the same time, like I said, we can study these things and try to learn from them and see, like, what if is there a trigger? Is there an electronical thing? Is there, you know, it's interesting. It's always interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
So do you run into a problem where you'll put objects in the room and they just don't get along, and it causes you guys any issues in the house or things of that nature?
What do you think, Lauren?
I mean, the only thing that has ever really caused, well, besides the other thing that's on the porch, is the Mephistopheles, but that was Mephistopheles.
Yeah, it was a painting done in human blood as he was dying. He painted his.
Yeah, but it affected our dog.
Yeah, she wouldn't eat if it was in the house. So we did experiments with that, and we turned out, you know, somehow, some way, she could tell when it was in the house, even if she didn't know it was in the house. So we kept it in the garage.
Yeah.
So
I think that was really the only thing.
I think that was the only thing. Yeah.
Besides our friend on the porch. So
yeah.
Oh, I'm very familiar with your friend on the porch. I told Nate I was gonna be like, Dan, do you happen to know about any clowns named Ian?
Ian, yes, he's
well, because I talk to Nate all the time, so I mean, I know this. You know, I'm not going to talk about him here. I just figured I'd ask you about him because I know that you've had some interesting interactions with the little fellow. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, we're documenting everything on it, and there's a lot of coincidences that, you know, for me, it's like, how many does it take before they're no longer a coincidence? You know, I mean.
Yeah, but the other thing is too is that Danny likes to do experiments and not tell me.
Unhinged experiments where, like,
yeah, you're unhinged.
Well, if you're gonna do an experiment, you don't want other people in that experiment process to know what's going on, because then it's no longer controlled. It's no longer, you know, so it's like, I'll do something like I removed a binding on an item and I didn't let her know. So that way she's not aware of it. So, you know, because if you're aware of the number 7, you're going to see the number 7 everywhere. But if you're not aware of it, you know, and you take account to it, then it's a different, it correlates differently. So I don't let her know when I do these experiments and things like that. And when I move things and change things around, and it was really wild because I removed the binding from it and crazy shit started happening. And it was like,
yeah, like bruises and puncture wounds and
a ceiling falling down in the house.
Ceiling falling down.
Oh my God, really? A ceiling fell down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For no reason whatsoever. No reason.
I hope it didn't hit you in the process.
Actually, we came home to it on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Well, you know, it definitely, I mean, I know that you've had some issues before. Didn't we talked about, remember the black fly incident at one point?
Oh.
Remember that?
Yes.
I know that we actually had a really spirited
yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was my fault, but
you were the catalyst.
Yeah.
What happened, Lauren?
We were at a Spirit Squad event in Rhode Island, and we did a seance or seance, and we've noticed that if I'm across from Sam Baltrusis, it gets nuts. So I was across from him, and the people that were sitting around me said that my eyes rolled back in my head, they went black, and my face morphed into a man. At this time, what I was doing, I was channeling.
Yep.
And she was new at it.
And I was new at it. So after that, we came home, and then like a day later or something like that, we had some massive craziness of flies.
But only in this one window by
That's
the
right.
opening of the door of the house, by the beginning, the entrance to the house.
Mhm.
And it got to the point where, I mean, it's summertime, you get an occasional fly here and there, this, that, you take care of it. Hundreds. I mean, it got to the point where it was like you couldn't kill them. It was easier to take the vacuum and take the hose off and suck them up.
Mhm.
And then in 10 minutes, do it again.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Mhm.
I have no explanation for it.
So shortly after that, we were driving down to Gettysburg
For the bash.
and I'm messaging Sam, and I'm talking to him, and at the same time, Sam's messaging Danny saying she's got something attached to her.
Something's wrong.
Something ain't right.
And that's where you came in.
And that's
Oh,
when you
that's
came in, and we had you did your thing, and
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me like the flies are gone. It's like,
They're
oh,
gone.
yeah, we came home.
Came home and they're gone.
We were expecting like the entire house to be infested with
Especially
flies.
since the fact that I wasn't there to
Suck
vacuum
'em
them up and get rid of them. So it was like, oh my God, what are we gonna come home to?
Right.
Gone.
Oh yeah, the thought of that just gives me the creeps.
We took pictures of it, and I think we got a video somewhere, but it was just
It was insane.
there was nothing there.
Mm.
There's no, I mean, and it was this one window that they congregated in, and it was
Mhm.
just to the point of where like you couldn't even see out of the window.
It was like Amityville horror window full of flies.
My
It was,
God.
I never seen anything like
Yeah,
it in
it
my
was
life.
crazy.
I can't explain it. Even to this day, I can't explain it except
No.
for it had to be something unknown to me.
That's pretty crazy. It really, really is. I mean, I just recalled that story in my mind because it's like I remember. I mean, I've seen flies because it's that time of year, and it's like, oh my God, I remember that time. I remember that time with the flies. I'm like, oh God, the thought of those being all over a window just. I don't mind spiders. I don't like large amounts of flies. It's just
It was
The disgusting thing was like we have one of the vacuums where like it's got the canister that's see-through.
Mm.
So it's like after you do this, you're looking in the canister and the whole thing's moving around inside. It's just,
Yeah.
it was like hundreds. It was like, bruh.
But as soon as he would vacuum them up and get rid of them, there'd be many more.
But from where?
From where? Where are they coming from?
The doors closed, the windows
Yeah.
are shut.
I don't know.
I know
It was wild.
it was like a manifestation or something.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It
Lauren.
definitely,
Okay.
it's definitely crazy.
Yeah.
And I know that. Oh my God, what the hell was I gonna say? My brain just shut down for a second. Sorry about that. No, so you guys have been doing a lot of writing recently, as I mean, some people write a book here or there, and I know that you guys almost have a library or an entire, like I don't know, a library worth of books at this point. So, what caused the explosion of just? Did you already have all these stories like written before you decided to just go ahead and just start publishing, or did it just like hit you one after the other? Like, what's the process for you guys when it comes to writing your books?
The concepts for a lot of the books that we have already out were already in the process. They were already mapped out, outlined and whatnot. And then it was just a matter of fact of sitting down and actually taking the time. And we find the best time to do that is winter.
Yeah.
There's no conventions, we're stuck home. It's too cold. We live in a house where it's heated by a pellet stove. So we can't go away for a weekend because someone's got to man the stove.
Right.
So we're contained. It's that time of year. We have a desk in the house that's someone was murdered on and it's supposedly haunted. That's the desk that we write on. Like I'll take a chapter and then Lauren will review that chapter and she'll do the next chapter and we'll go back and forth throughout the book. And that's basically our process.
No, that's amazing. I mean, how many books do you guys actually have published currently?
I don't know.
I
Lauren,
think we're up to
is it 12?
13 now.
Okay. It's
because we just had the 2 new Count Fangula books put out.
oh yeah.
So
we
I
have a
think it's
children's
13.
series as well called
Wait,
Count Fangula.
tell me about is it Count Fangula? Is that what
Count
it's
Fangula.
Yeah.
called? Tell me a little bit about Count Fangula. I find it's amazing. It's cute and creepy all at the same time. So
Good, Lauren.
Well, we thought of the idea because Danny and I have 4 grandkids and another one on the way. But
congratulations.
we wanted to, because not everybody is, cookie cutter and everything. So we wanted it to be kind of like us.
A little
So
spooky
a
element.
little spooky, a little different. So Count Fangula and his friends, they go on adventures. And the first adventure, Count Fangula wants to learn how to write a book. So who do you go to?
He meets up with Stephen King.
Stephen King.
That's awesome. That really is cool.
And all these kind of adventures, like the second one was he learns fire
Safety with firefighter Craig, which is my son.
Yeah. So we put him in the book.
Yeah.
And and it's a learning experience for the children as well. Like we've got one like one of those adventures coming up is going to be, what's a funeral? Because kids they ask questions. They want to know these things.
Right.
We've got one with her other son works in the
trash.
Yeah, he works in the trash business. And so it was like another episode is going to be like, where does our garbage go?
And recycling and all that
and all
kind
this
of
stuff. So that way, kids have questions. They want answers. And sometimes parents don't have all the answers, but we can kind of give them a little avenue. And he always goes on these adventures with his monster friends.
Yeah.
So they all have their little personalities. Franklin, the Frankenstein, and so it's fun and yet has that spooky element, and they're learning at the same time.
Right.
So we just came out with one called he goes to the movies. He learns
Movie
about
etiquette.
how a movie is made, as well as the etiquette of being in the movie theater. Don't throw stuff, don't yell, don't scream. Things that I don't know, but lately, I mean, they kind of need that at the movie theaters lately. I mean, it's just people yelling and screaming, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I know that I've been in plenty of movie theaters where I think that somebody should read that book because they, etiquette across the entire plane, but especially in a movie theater.
Yeah.
If the kid's too young to watch it without screaming and yelling, maybe you should watch it on streaming service when it comes out at home. I mean,
exactly.
Back in the day when we were growing up, we didn't have the streaming services. So if you wanted to see a movie and you didn't see it in the theater, you had to wait about a freaking year before you actually got your hands on a VHS copy. Or beta. If you had beta, God bless your soul, because that was even worse than VHS. But I mean, VHS. We're talking. I mean, I hate dating myself like that, but I mean, I grew up with music on cassette tapes. And,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say vinyl, but vinyl's made a huge comeback, and vinyl's like one of the most popular forms now.
On the side of Lauren on the floor over there is laser discs of Star Wars. So yeah, we're dated as well.
That's awesome. Laser discs. That's one form of media I never had, but they always thought they were really cool. You know? My God. So, in addition to the children's books you've written, tell me about a couple of the other books you've written. I know you did a Paranormal 101, I believe, as far as
that was
the first one.
The first book was like, an intro to paranormal investigating and just letting people know that, it's not like you see on TV. Use whatever you feel is right. Some people say you can't use apps, you use whatever you're comfortable with. If you are comfortable with an app, use an app, use whatever. And we try to stress the major important things is go ahead, Lauren.
Respect.
But respect who, Lauren?
Respect the place that you're at, for the people who are in that home or wherever you are, and for the things that you cannot see, for the spirits.
Yeah. And the location. Respect the location. And that's key.
I know, I agree with you 1,000%. Respect goes a long way.
And at the same time, make sure you have fun. Because if you're having fun while you're doing it, that's the energy that, to me, I think is going to attract something that you can't see. Because if you're in a room with someone that's making you uncomfortable, then you don't, in real life, you don't tend to gravitate towards that person.
Right.
But if someone's making you comfortable and having a good time, you tend to gravitate towards them. And I would think that would work with his spirit as well.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the more that people actually understand that and go along with that premise, it makes it a lot more enjoyable for everybody.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you catch one or two people who think that they're going to be the next God only knows what, and they like to raise hell in their own particular way, and
Yeah.
it causes everybody else to feel a little bit uneasy the whole night. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I've seen where psychic mediums will open up a portal in a place that one doesn't belong, and next thing you know, they're getting chased the hell out of a location by something that they shouldn't have disturbed in the first place.
Right.
USS Salem rings the bell on that one, but no, it's I was there when I saw somebody.
I remember that. Yeah, you had quite the incident.
And remember, I told you be careful.
It didn't chase me off. I mean, I've encountered many spirits, and I channel too, unfortunately, and sometimes I like channeling. It's a great way of communication, but you just got to be careful with all of that. And me being open 24 hours a day is kind of a dangerous situation. But that's a horse of a different color,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you get the Paranormal 101, you get the children's books. Have you written some more on the darker side of the?
There's a book on demonology. There's a book on exorcism. No, we didn't do demonology one. We didn't release that one
we
yet.
didn't do that one.
We didn't release that one yet.
No.
But
there's
exorcisms,
urban legends, unlocking the clairs.
Yep, it's like a book where you can you learn about different types of clairs, clairvoyance and clairaudience and all these kinds of things, as well as help develop them. And which a lot of the work was like Lauren, because it's like, she, like I said, she's clairvoyant, I'm just clairannoying. And so how to put up your close sign, how to shut it off, how to because that's
it's a hard thing, and it does kind of read like a textbook, but it also has places where you can write down certain things and write down your thoughts and write down things that are going to help you and everything. And also in the back, we do have things written down as, places to go to for books, for oils, for protections.
There's different kind of exercises you can do for your clairs as well to develop them. And yes, echoes of violence.
Echoes of violence.
Yes. Thomas wrote the forward on that.
Yes.
He's the guy when it comes to, violence and paranormal. And, we tried to, in that book, we tried to correlate what attracts the paranormal to violence. Is there a correlation between the two? There always seems to be, like, wherever there's tragic history, there always seems to be some kind of paranormal activity there, or whether it be a murder or historical event. It's just why. And we don't claim to have the answers, but we give out various theories and things like that, and we let the readers decide.
It sounds like a great piece of reference material for people who are just trying to
basically
establish like what direction that they want to go in with their abilities and learning how to adapt them.
Because like all of our books that we do, we never say, hey, we have the answers, we know this is how it is, because none of us have the answers. We have theories, we have thoughts, we have ideas, and it's like, here are our ideas, here are our thoughts, take them as what you will. If you like them, run with them. If you have more ideas, tell us, because we're gonna like your ideas too, more than likely. And as we always say, there are no experts in the paranormal field. If there were experts, we'd have answers. There are no answers, therefore there are no experts. There are people that have expertise, which you've got your channelers, you've got your audio recorder people, and they have expertise. But to say you're an expert, we're all just learning.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I mean, it makes for good television when you call yourself an expert, so to speak.
Yeah.
But then again, you realize that they're cramming 2 weeks worth of investigating to a 48-minute show with commercials. So it's not as glorious as a lot of people think it is. It's fun to watch on TV, but if they catch that shadow, they might have caught that shadow on day 3 and 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8. Where there was nothing but dead silence in a dark room, and it was when I first did my very first investigation was at the SK Pierce, and it definitely was not anything like the shows. I mean, I never really watched the shows. That was more Gene's thing than it was mine, and it's like, okay, so this is what it's really about.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more digging what it's really about versus what's actually shown on television.
Right.
If that makes sense, you know.
And then you get those nights where there's nothing.
Nothing.
You know, it's like fishing. Sometimes you reel them all in. Sometimes it's just like
Nothing.
nobody bit.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, they're not always going to come out to perform for you. I mean, they are human beings. Most of
they're
them
not trained monkeys.
And a lot of those locations, like the locations that you can go and investigate, for me, I always worry or wonder about like the residual stuff that people brought in and accidentally left there.
Paranormal bugging, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
unintentionally conjured and left there.
Mhm.
And you know, so it's like for us, we do mostly residential stuff where people, you know, they have a set problem and we try to figure out what it is through our network or whatever. And you know, but we do occasionally do the, you know, we call them pay to play. And they are fun. They're a great way to do experiments and develop things. But like I said, it's you know, are you walking to something that's historically of the house or something that the group before you left?
Right.
No, you're not wrong, because I mean, you've been in many locations where you definitely pick up on people's baggage, so to speak, and sometimes you go into places where my favorite, like the Ouija boards or the spirit boards, where they'll use one to open communication and then they never shut it down. So then you end up with God only knows what the hell is trying to come through that board. And I experienced that at the Hinsdale House of all places. That was quite the amazing trip. That's for sure. Oof. But so you've been making spirit boards for a long time, Dan. What made you decide to start doing that? Uh-oh, did I lose you? I think. Did we lose them?
I think they froze up.
Did we freeze? Are we frozen?
Maybe they'll come back here in a sec.
Uh-oh. Sorry, people. Apparently, we got a little frozen action going on here. Guys, if you can hear me, hopefully you can come back in.
Yeah, they should be able to use the link they had to come back in.
Oh, boy. Well, you know, sometimes things happen, apparently. And, Lauren just sent me a message.
Computer gremlins is their best.
Oh, they lost power for a second. They're rebooting now.
All right.
Well, I know that they're in an area where sometimes power gets kicked off and kicked on. But, no, you know, they're really cool to talk to, Sean. You know, they're two amazing people. You know?
Yeah, I've been sitting in backstage here listening, and that's pretty awesome, some of the stuff that they're doing. Oh,
God, I haven't even touched on a good amount of it. I mean, they've written so many books, and it's amazing. They're really fun to meet in person. My wife and I have attended a few of their lectures, and you know, it's unfortunate. Oh, the pellet stove stopped working and they froze. Oh, you know, sometimes that happens. You know,
I gotta agree with them though on the residential stuff, because I love doing residentials.
Yeah, I've done a couple. Mainly, I've done the pay to play, so to speak. Just because you know that was what was available when we first started getting into it, and wanted to visit a lot of the more haunted locations in Massachusetts and stuff like that. So, but it's a different kind of energy. It's a different kind of experience. You know,
it definitely is. I mean, I think I like doing residential over just doing businesses and things like that.
It's lost power or energy stolen from the house. You know, with the amount of objects that they have behind them, it could have been energy stolen from the house. You know,
to zap their battery.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they deal with stuff all the time, and hey, accident. You know, technology is what it is, and sometimes shit happens. You know.
Well, as me and Gwen always call it, computer gremlins at their best. Here they are. Oh,
hello.
Hey,
back in action. Hey, look at that.
Sorry about that. We had a power outage.
Well, I know you guys tend to suffer from those quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, we live in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, the computer, everything's down at the moment. So we're just on the cell phone right now. I don't know. It might even fry the computer. I don't know. But yeah, sorry about that.
That's all good. Where did we leave off at? What did you actually hear, or what didn't you
What
hear?
was the last thing we were talking about?
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about investigations and pay to plays and yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh, you know,
Residual.
I had segued into Ouija boards. I wanted to ask you, Dan,
Okay.
like, you've been making them for quite a while. What made you decide to get into actually making spirit boards?
They didn't have any designs that I wanted, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna make my own.
Okay, I mean, well, I know that they've evolved over the years.
Yeah,
like,
they
from
actually
wood,
have
and you've been using like casket wood, I think.
casket wood. Yeah, I found out that Connecticut has a casket dealer, casket builder, and I was like, hey, I got an idea. What do you guys think? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, come on down. We'll hook you up. So yeah, I get the wood from them. We drive the hearse up to the casket shop and the casket factory, load it up, come home, and make Ouija boards.
That's awesome. I mean, like I said, you make some amazing ones, and
Oh, thank you.
I know that
But
you guys also delve into a lot of other products too, don't you?
Oh God, yeah. What else do we do, Lauren?
Peanut butter.
Flavored peanut butters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not looks like peanut butter. There's like blueberry vanilla peanut butter. There's
Jalapeno.
whiskey.
The taco one was pretty sweet.
Taco, yes.
Yeah. And barbecue sauce, taco sauce.
She's working on flavored butters now, homemade butters.
Homemade butter.
They're all kind of different flavors, and yeah, so it's like we're always doing something. We're always keeping busy, and
Never stops.
yeah, which is good though. Keeps us going.
You're not supposed to stop. You just gotta keep on rolling,
Right. Yeah.
right.
I mean, look, we didn't even stop when the lights went out. I came this close to going outside and I'm just gonna start the generator because we have the generator all hooked up at all times because you never know where we live. And yeah, gotta love it.
It's between that and some of I remember I've seen pictures of the crazy decorations you guys have out in the front of your house, like the 12-foot skeleton. Probably even 12 at this point. But
the whole property is Halloween year round.
Year round.
I mean, was it Home Depot? They have these, after Halloween sales where everything's on mass discount. So we're like, you know what? Let's buy it. We'll put it in the yard.
And he does.
And the kids love it. The local kids, the school bus drives by and they wave to all the things in the yard.
that's awesome.
But we have our dogs buried in the yard.
Yeah.
And our son-in-law and my daughter, their cats in our yard too.
They live in an apartment. They wanted a permanent home.
Yeah.
A permanent resting place. So we're like, oh yeah. They asked, they're like, come on, go for it.
So there's a big, huge dog skeleton where the dog is, and there's a big, huge cat skeleton where the cat is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's pretty cool. Man, Home Depot must love you. You get to go in and just clean their asses out to Halloween.
I had one of the trucks following me home last year.
Did you really?
Yeah. Awesome. Wasn't for him though.
No.
I even told them in Home Depot, I said, listen, if you really need to do another commercial for next year, just come to our house.
So
I wonder what the neighbors think.
Do you care what the neighbors think? Not really.
No.
Well, I do know what a few of them think. They call us the weirdos.
Yeah. I've heard the Halloween house.
Mm-hmm.
You guys live in the Halloween house out in Thompson? Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
The one with the hearses in the driveway, right? Yeah, that's us.
That's us.
We're at the cool house.
That's right. The cool house.
The cool house is absolutely right.
Well, it's like when we have a tax, every so often they reassess your house for taxes and stuff like that. Well, the tax assessor had to come here to reassess our house, and she has to come inside and walk around. And on our front door, we've got a sign. What's it say, Lauren?
If you're psychically inclined, just know that there's objects in this house that could cause you to have an issue.
Right. So she saw that as comes to the house, and she's like, what is this? And I was like, listen, take it with a grain of salt or take it wholeheartedly. It's up to you. But just know as you cross the threshold, the stuff is in the house. It's in the garage. It's everywhere, but it's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes in and she's like, it's a typical farmhouse kitchen. All right, I'm going to come into the parlor. She comes into the parlor and her eyes get huge and she's scanning the whole room. And she's like, can I take pictures? I was like, well, lady, that's your job.
That's what you're here for.
That's what you're here for. And she was literally supposed to be here for 15 minutes and it was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to know what this is. What's the story behind that? And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was cool.
Great.
It was fun. She had a blast.
It goes from fear to intrigue really fast. That's the best part about it. You know, it's the best way to break somebody. You know.
Yeah, and I'm sure when she got back to the town hall, they were all talking about it. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I know you guys do a lot of lectures. Do you guys have You guys have any lectures set up for this year coming up for the? This
Oh my gosh, we have a few. Yeah.
I have no idea. Lauren just tells me where to go, and I go. I show up and go because I'm horrible with dates and times, and so she's when Lauren?
Well, we've got the Connecticut Paracon.
Yep, that's in July.
That's in July, and in August we're going to be at the Haunted Hillview Manor.
Sounds right.
Yep. In Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool.
With Thomas and Stacia. And then also in August we have the Hollow, which is in New Jersey.
Yep.
That's the week later.
I can't even keep track. I
think that's August. And then September. Oh, September's just
we got some
crazy.
library events coming up as well. We like to do the library events because that way it helps support the local libraries.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, we can't say enough about our libraries.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're a paranormal investigator out there and you're listening to this right now, we've had better luck researching at the local libraries than we have at the local historical societies. So support your libraries. Those librarians would love to help you with any info you need.
Exactly.
So you guys have a bunch of library gigs coming up this year too?
Yeah, we got some library. Those I think for me, those are really fun.
They really are.
Because it's like usually like general public, people who have no idea the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in and they're just like, they're so hungry for knowledge.
Mm.
And you know, it's amazing because I mean, I've actually gone to one of your library lectures up in Worcester a couple of years ago. Gene and I came to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Shakespeare. That's right. Yeah.
You guys gonna come back up to Mass this year, or any plans for?
We have one booked for Dudley Mass.
But
we're gonna try to go a little further north. We're gonna try to book everywhere.
Everywhere.
Why not?
Yeah.
What the hell, right? Get out there and make this. So I wanted to bring up another thing going on this year. You guys are going to be featured at this year's Maine Horror and Paranormal Convention. You guys are going to be putting your museum together for the general public. First time this magnitude. I remember when they made the announcement last year on social media, and Dan, your eyes must have bulged out of your head like somebody hit you with a shock stick or something like that at the time.
Yeah.
It was, oh boy.
I'm unfortunately my worst critic. I am like the most. I'm a perfectionist. I'm like the fact of like bringing a lot of this stuff and setting it up like terrifies me because the presentation has to be perfect. It's got to be this. It's got to be educational as well as entertaining. And I don't think we're going to be able to bring everything because we would need a couple
like
U-Hauls.
Huge U-Hauls. Yeah.
But we're going to bring a lot of the stuff people are going to see. No one's ever seen unless you've been over to the house. And even then there's stuff Lauren hasn't seen that's going to be there.
Yep.
You know, so it's going to be an experience. And the cool thing is some of the stuff in the exhibit in Maine is going to be accompanied by a soundtrack because I wrote a soundtrack of like for the Museum of Wonders where like each song is like about a different thing in the collection where you can, you know, so it's going to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have 5 CDs now too.
Yeah, we have 5 audio CDs that I've been working on for the last 6 years. And so it's like, yeah, a little something extra. So, you know, tells the story via music.
You know, and I agree. I think I'm looking forward to seeing this exhibit myself, especially where I've always told you that I consider you like the carnival barker of the vendor area because you always draw people in. When you're dialed in, when Danny Perez turns into Danny Radical and he's dialed in and he's got that bow tie rocking, he's got you got the vest going, man. you are without a doubt the most entertaining vendor in the entire floor, without
That
a
is-
shadow of a doubt. And
That is the best compliment I've ever gotten, and I love when you say that, the whole carnival thing and everything, because that's literally like was one of my passions growing up as a kid, was the carnival sideshows and things like that. So it's like, yeah, when you picked up on that, I was like, oh my god, I must be doing something right.
it's amazing because I know how humble of a guy you are, but as soon as you turn into Danny Radical, it's a totally different guy. I mean, you never miss a beat. You go from telling the stories of the objects to the one person, and then when they go do their business and they come in, you don't miss a step. It's like boom, the next one in gets the exact same presentation, the exact same energy as you did previously, man. And you should definitely take a bow for that because you deserve that.
Hey, I feel everyone is equally important, and they deserve the same show every time, even if I've been standing there for 4 hours having to pee. You know, I will wait till the show is over.
It is amazing. I mean, I've seen you do your thing at oh god, where the hell? Ken DeCosta used to run a Paracon.
Ocean State.
Ocean State Paracon.
And I remember you ran under. They had a little tent, and you were showing me all the objects underneath there. It was amazing, and you know, I can't wait to see what you guys have going on at this particular event because I got a feeling it's going to blow some people away. It really, really is.
I hope so. I hope people enjoy and have a good time and walk away with something and you know, a lot of questions, a lot of, you know, it's going to be fun. The key thing is fun and educational.
No, when you guys are doing it, you guys gonna bring some of your like greatest hits items. Like I know the crying baby.
Yeah, the greatest hits. Like if we don't bring a lot of the stuff, some people are like, "Well, why didn't you bring that?" So it's like, yeah, the heavy hitters.
The heavy hitters will be there.
We'll bring them. So yes, the Dahmer fork will be there because people, you know, you didn't bring the fork. Yeah, well, it'll be there along with some of the other items as well.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do, like we're gonna have like a station where like you can. A psychometry station where you can like work on your psychometry stuff as well with various items that are problematic, you know, like serial killer items and things like that you can like, you know, see what you pick up on. And so it's not just, you know, looking around oohs and ahs. We want you to become part of the exhibit.
Yeah.
That is awesome, dude. God only knows, like when I start handling objects, who knows what the hell is going to happen. You know, I think it's going to be really cool. You guys definitely deserve to be spotlighted this year. I'm glad that Jeff made this happen this year. You know, I know last year it was the Warrens Museum, and I think
that was cool.
They did a nice job, but I think that this year is definitely going to be one that could even top what I saw last year because you guys have so much stuff that you can bring to the table. My favorite story is always about the piece of the car. That's like my favorite, the Golden Eagle story.
See, now the thing is with Golden Eagle, with the exhibit for Golden Eagle, we're going to bring stuff that people haven't seen with Golden Eagle because there's more to the story.
Oh, yeah.
The kid that touched the car and went home and killed his family, we've got like all the police reports from that. And when his family was, when they had the wake and the funeral, they were all seen. The wake was all together. The whole family was, you know, the caskets were laid out together at the funeral home. We've got the chandelier that was over the casket. We've got the sconces in the funeral home that were there for the funeral. And so it's all going to be part of this bigger presentation. And the thing is with the main horror Paracon, our museum is going to cost nothing. There's no entry fee or anything like that. Anyone that has a general admission ticket is going to be available to walk through and spend some time. We're going to have a lot of merch there as well. And so books, CDs, Ouija boards, all kinds of stuff. New t-shirts that say, I forking survived, fork as in Jeffrey Dahmer's fork, survived the RadiKals Museum of Wonders.
Dude, that is fantastic. I love that. That's a great idea. I love that shirt. And, you know, if you make them in monster size, I'd like to get one myself. Definitely.
We'll hook you up.
Definitely.
That'd be awesome, you know?
It's going to be a good time.
Not to cap it off, but I know that the one last thing I wanted to bring in as a part of the general conversation is your podcast that you just started doing recently. You know, I know we touched on about it. We talked about it backstage a little bit, but I wanted to bring attention to the listeners because I know that you guys do it. Well, you guys do it like once or twice a month, depending on what the situation is.
We're focusing on once a month, but we may do a special during the month to make it two. You know, kind of just, you know, we've got so much going on. And so, yeah, it's called Creepy Chronicles.
Mhm.
It's something that I've been working on since before I even met you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like the old In Search Of television show. You know, you never know what's going to be next. It could be, you know, histories, mysteries, legends, and lore. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've actually taken this and turned it into one of the books that we are working on, and which Lauren has a early copy here. It's Shadows of the Nutmeg State, and it's, you know, legends and tragedies of Connecticut. So we've decided, you know what, we're gonna add the Creepy Chronicles label, which on the new book is up here, and make it a series as well as a book series. So it's like, you know, you're gonna be able to have Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, you know, wherever.
Yeah.
And so, but the podcast, yeah, I mean, there may be. We want to focus more on with the podcast, more on subjects than guests. Like, you know, the next one is Ouija boards with John Kozik, who's a Ouija board expert, you know? So it's like, you know, the first one we wanted to focus on American ruins, American Stonehenge, you know? So it's like, okay, so who's the guy on this one? So it's subjects, you know, we like the, a lot of people don't know about the Black Cat of Capitol Hill. So we'll probably bring in someone to talk about that. And, you know,
We actually tried to find it.
we went to Capitol Hill and we were talking to security guards. They're standing there with their guns and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, we know about the Black Cat of Capitol Hill. And so it's like episodes that focus on a subject with someone presenting it.
That is awesome because I saw your first premiere episode, and that I learned so much about American Stonehenge just by listening to him.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, and you think that's a lot. Go to the site. Oh my, have you ever been to American Stonehenge?
I went there not last year, the year before. My friend and I, we went there on a I think it was like a Tuesday afternoon, and we went up there, and oh my God, it's you got to bring your walking shoes because that son of a bitch is like straight uphill. And you don't realize it's straight uphill until you start walking straight uphill. I mean,
we did it when Lauren's first and only time she went was a couple years ago. We did it at nighttime for a paranormal investigation.
I didn't fall.
I would love to investigate that. Oh my God, the energy that comes out of like the little village area right there.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk with Dennis. He's the guy we had on a guest, and we may have something brewing in the future with that location where we can have, you know, because that place again, history.
It's amazing that the markers point to a particular time and place in history going all the way around. And
That's wild.
when you climb up on that thing and you look over and you see all the markers going around, it blows you away. It really does.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the world is amazing.
Yeah.
And the world is an amazing place, Danielle. And every day when you watch the TV and they're digging up ruins and they're finding things that we had no idea even existed back in the day, and they're even proving the point where we weren't even the first version of human beings on this planet to begin with, and that's a whole different conversation for a different time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. We could talk about this for another 4 hours.
No shit, huh? The best part is about coming on this late is that we don't have to rush right off directly at 10:30. Cool. So I think we have a couple of minutes, you know, to cover
our computer. Our computer is actually still rebooting, so I don't.
The ghost in the machine has said no.
So we're still here. You know, it's like because I was like, oh my God, we had a power outage. We looked at each other because the lights start flashing. We're like, what's going on? It's like a disco in here. And I was like, oh my God, we lost connection. And we both looked at each other. We're like, oh, power outage. We didn't.
Yeah.
Damn. So I was like, you know what?
Let me get Jeremy right now.
Let me wait for it to come back on so we can get like some kind of cell phone service, and I'll just jump on the phone.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you guys were able to come back on because, you know, this has been an amazing conversation. You know? Oh God. Sometimes you forget because you don't get a chance to talk to everybody every day, and you know, You guys are family to me. I appreciate everything that you've done, Danny, especially. And for those people who don't know, Danny is the one who wrote and produced my music, the theme music to Twisted Tales, and I love, it's awesome. I can never say good things about it. I've got friends across the country who hear that song and they jam out to it every time the show comes on, and
cool.
it is cool. And you were talking about your music, and you said you have 5 CDs out.
Yeah.
5 CDs. Yeah. Just recently came out. I mean, I've been working on them for 4 of them I've been working on for like 6 years. The last one was about a year. It's one of those things, we've got a production studio in the house. I used to run a recording studio with a buddy of mine back in the early 2000s called Wingbat Records. And I was like, you know what? I've got all this stuff. That's where the RadiKals actually came from. It was a band, we called ourselves the RadiKals. And then when I started taking the items out and showing them, people were like, hey, it's Danny Radical. And I was like, oh, I guess the name stuck.
Yeah.
So it's now the RadiKals. But like, I've been going in the studio and just working on stuff and taking my time with it and having fun, which is the key part, is having fun. And what? She's giving me a look over here. What's the look?
Well, we've been together for 9 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know, but Danny was part of a
couple bands.
One of them was called Moist Chicken.
No, that's a hell of a band. Moist Chicken.
It was shock rock. I dressed up as a schoolgirl, Catholic schoolgirl.
Oh my God! What were you, the anti-Angus Young? He was a school girl.
Something. Yeah. The singer was a 250-pound guy who came out wearing nothing but a duct tape maxi pad.
You.
and I was over there playing bass as a schoolgirl. We had the priest in the back playing drums, and it was fun. But Lauren, continue your story. What?
I've never heard him play.
She's never seen me play, never heard me play. I'm a very private person when it comes to that, unless there's a stage. If there's a stage and there's a group of people, that's when Danny Radical comes out.
So this is the thing. We're going to make a stage outside.
Because like when the bands were there and I was in the bands and doing the music stuff, I had 2 goals. One was to play the main stage at the Worcester Palladium, and the other goal was to play the stage at CBGB's in New York City. And once I did both of those, I just was like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. I did my goals and on to something else.
Wow.
But the music has always been there in my life forever. And then I started working on this stuff, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let me do like a Appalachian folk song about the Jewett City Vampires. Let's do a metal, like the last album that I just did it's called The RadiKals Museum of Wonders, and it's a metal album about various items that I'm sitting next to.
I can't wait to hear that, because I know that you shared when I first heard the other albums that there were 2 albums that you shared with me. That's when I asked you, hey, can I use one of those songs for the show? And you're like, hold on a second, and you came up with the Twisted Tales song. I'm like, holy shit.
I was like, hey, hold on a couple of days. Let me see what I can do. And then I like surprise you, like, hey, what do you think of this song? And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I hope it's good. And, and I'm so glad you like it.
It blew my mind. It really did. And
that's awesome.
Every time somebody new hears it, they're like, oh my God, it's different than what anybody else has.
That's cool. And it was fun. It was so fun.
Oh God, yeah. Between that and the Wicked Wednesdays thing that we got going on.
Yeah.
Because I know you wrote that one too, and it's like it's just it sets us apart from everything else that goes on. Because I mean, a lot of people they like to use like auto-generated stuff that they find in like the music bank on the computer, and which is fine. Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But when I got this thing going, I'm like, okay, I need to have something different than and that's when Gwen came up with my intro that it looks like the old vintage like NWO WCW New World Order thing from back in the Attitude Era of wrestling thing where they had the black and white with the sketchy thing, and
Yep.
She's like, well, maybe, do you want me to make a better one? I'm like, no, that is perfect the way it is.
It works.
Yeah.
And especially with the song. I mean, it all matches the song matches the friggin' intro. It's amazing. It really, really is. Because I mean, if anything more than that, and I think it would overshadow each other, and it's like a perfect mix.
Good. I'm so glad it worked out.
Yeah, I can never say enough good things about it, brother. You know, so
Appreciate that.
I always do this with all my guests, and I figured I'll ask you guys. I always ask about your Mount Rushmore of horror characters, and I'd like to start with Lauren first, and then we'll hit the answer.
He's already know. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go with the original Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I like that choice.
I'm gonna go with Jack Torrance.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Vampira.
Oh,
I'm familiar. Yeah.
And of course, Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
So I had to pick the last one.
Wow.
How about you, Mr. Radical? What do you got?
I gotta say again, Bela Lugosi, Dracula, without a doubt. Then there's the king of all monsters, Godzilla.
Nice.
King Kong, which wasn't really a monster, but at the same time terrified me as a kid. And for fourth, I believe Angela from Night of the Demons.
Holy crap! What a pull! I actually like that one. She's on the front cover of the movie, right? Yeah.
Yes, she was terrifying. Oh my god!
All right,
and
so
that's
I need to see this movie.
you haven't seen it, okay?
No.
And this is the thing, like. I grew up watching horror movies. My grandmother, our house was always horror movies. That was her thing. And when my brother's 6 years younger than me. So I was probably about 12. So he was probably about 6. And Night of the Demons, that's the movie that scared him so bad to this day. He does not like horror movies. He likes them, but he's too afraid to watch them. But it's like, he always like, Night of the Demons, Night of the Demons. Oh my God, that scarred me for life. And I was like, good, I did my job.
I gotta tell you, Lauren, no lie, I saw Night of the Demons for the first time last year. I didn't even realize.
No way.
I didn't know I ever saw it. I thought I'd run by it at some point along the way, but then I was sitting there and it was on streaming service. I'm like, you know what? I gotta make sure that I've actually seen this before. So I turned it on. I'm like, I never watched this thing all the way through. What the hell was I thinking?
The original one or the remake? There's a remake.
I've seen both. The
Okay.
OG one is the better of the two.
Yes, correct. Yeah, in my opinion as well.
I'm
And
sorry,
like-
I feel that way about a lot of things.
Same here. And like Lauren's never seen the movie, but you met one of the characters in the film.
I did.
Yeah, at one of the Salem cons with the showman and the shaman, the shaman and the showman there. The guy that was the dressed up as a pig, he was at the show. He was there signing stuff and everything. And
That's right, he wasn't he?
I have no idea.
Was that last year?
last year or the year before, I think it was the year before.
A year
Are you
before?
sure?
I think so. He was there. Yeah, I got a picture with
Was
him.
he in something else?
He was cheering. No, he was there for that. He was there promoting. He might have been promoting something else too. I'm not sure. But he watched our lecture and he was like, "Oh my God, dude, that was so cool!" And I was like, "Oh my God, the guy from Night of the Demons was like cool."
That is.
Just gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agreed. The original versions for me, I stick with the originals. You know.
Yeah.
Well, what's the other one that I just watched for the first time? Night of the Comet.
Oh, Night of the Comet. It's not really a horror movie, but it's a sci-fi freaky kind of movie. Zombie little creatures in it and stuff. If you've never seen Night of the Comet, a lot of people haven't seen Night of the Comet. And I grew up watching this stuff. I mean, I'll never forget, like, as a kid, I was probably like in 6th grade, and my grandmother would send me into, we had this place called Video Galaxy. It was a VHS rental store. And this little old lady, Millie, little white-haired lady, and she'd check you out with your movies and stuff. And I'd go in, and my grandma would like, "Hey, get a couple of those Faces of Death movies." So, okay, I'll go get some, Graham. Go in and grab a couple of the Faces of Death, and she's just like, Millie, she's checking me out, and she's like, "Oh, must be movie night at the Perez house, huh?"
I gotta tell you, I had a hard time watching those ones. Those were some. You
Well,
know?
the thing is, like, a lot of people don't even realize that the first one, 99% of it was fake and recreated stuff. On the anniversary edition that came out last year or the year before, there's like a documentary included on there as well, where they show you how they like the monkey wasn't real, even though a lot of people think it is. The monkey in the table wasn't real and things like that. It's the way they cut it, the way they shot it, but they pull it off, and it's just fantastic.
Another thing that Danny introduced me to. Faces
Yeah,
of Death.
you made it through most of it.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. It's
When
rough.
you start getting to the real stuff with the animals, like the cows and stuff like that, that's rough, but that's where your meat comes from.
No, I agree. I mean, I remember watching a slaughterhouse video on YouTube back when they actually allowed that stuff before the algorithm bots went in there and just started slaughtering the whole app. Yeah, it's hard to watch, but no, I agree with you. You know, if you want to have a hamburger, that's where the son of a bitch came from. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No offense. No matter how gruesome I thought it was, it's not going to stop me from getting my cheeseburger. I'm not going to stop.
I hear you. I hear you.
No, I'll
God,
be
that's
carnivore till they put me in the ground. There's no way in hell I'm going vegetarian. You know,
Cheeseburger does sound good.
Yeah, it's for me. It starts with the smell. I call it beef cologne. When
Yes.
someone's cooking on that grill, that
Yes.
beef cologne. Yeah.
oh, no doubt. Hey Lee, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah. You know, this has been an amazing evening. I'm so glad that you guys came on to talk to me tonight. I appreciate everything you guys got going on, and I can't wait to see what you guys got going on for the rest of the year. So before we tie it up entirely, where can everybody who's watching reach out and catch up with you guys?
www.theradicals.org. And if you need to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at helpme@theradicals.org.
Yep. Email and the phone number's on the website as well. Call it 24/7 if you need help. We never charge when it comes to paranormal investigating and helping families. We never charge for anything that we do. So, yeah. And yes, a lot of people say, is that your real phone number on the website? Yes, it's 424-666-SICK, S-I-C-K. That is a real phone number. Give us a call if you need help, and we'll see what we can do. If we can't help you, we'll find you someone that can.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, guys, thank you very much for Danny
Thank
and
you.
Lauren, the Radicals. I'm Jeremy, and we'll see you next time. Sean, take us out. Thank you.
Thank you.